Today, it's Martin versus Martin. Kind of like that old Dustin Hoffman movie, Kramer versus Kramer. But this is Martin going against Martin. And the question is, when is a 00018 not a 00018? When it's a custom shop instrument inspired by the 00018. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. I'm comparing this custom shop inspired by a 00018 with a 00018. Can you hear the difference? What actually is the difference? And is the higher price worth it? Stay tuned. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for our custom designed t-shirts like the new design I'm wearing today. So as I said, Martin has a host of standard models, X series models, Road series models, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can go to the custom shop and you can have built whatever your little heart desires. But sometimes what Martin does and what we do as a dealer for Martin is we have guitars that are inspired by some of their standard lineup with a few key changes. Now they come from the custom shop, they're more expensive as a result of it, but they're effectively a true handmade instrument through and through, even the necks being carved by hand, high glue construction, all of that fun stuff to make it a better guitar and to make it more special and appealing to you. What's interesting about it though is that you can get something that's pretty close to a standard model that costs a lot more, and the question in my mind that I want to answer for you guys today maybe is it worth it? Is it worth going to the more expensive route? And I think this is a compelling comparison because we are looking today at a 00018, which is one of my favorite models that Martin makes, versus this custom shop model that is inspired by the 00018. In fact, let's look at them side by side. They are very close to being the same guitar. Many of the specs are very similar. The tone woods are very similar. You can see this back strap, this one doesn't. There are some key differences between them. So let's talk about what's the same first. They're both 000 bodies. They have the same scale length. I think it's 24.9, basically 25 inches. They have the same bracing pattern, which is a scalloped X brace, 1/4 inch thick. They have the same dimensions on the neck. It is a 1 3/4 inch nut width with a modified low oval profile and high performance taper. They have very similar tuners, but they're different. Very similar logos, but they're different. Very similar tops, but they're a little different. Same bridge, it's the ebony modern drop belly bridge. And then of course, you have some appointments that are different on it, like this one having the marquetry on the back, joint point, where this one does not. But all in all, I mean, to the average person, they look like the same instrument. Now, you can't technically buy a custom shop 00018. If you see someone advertising a custom shop 00018, that's not really what it is. Martin doesn't allow its dealers to do that, in fact, but the guitars can be inspired by. So if you look at the spec sheet of this guitar, which we have, it will say that kind of the jumping off point is this guitar. It is the 00018, and what an amazing guitar to start with. I've said for a long, long time, this is one of my favorites. The small body with a spruce top and mahogany back and sides gives you a wonderful warm tone, very fundamental heavy, not a lot of overtones, lots of mid-range, and it's just a delight to play, particularly if you have a light touch because it responds so readily. And when they started doing the kind of revamping of the standard series, or the reimagining, if you will, the 18 series got it first, and it quickly became kind of my favorites in the lineup for a long, long time. And so I've really loved the look of this with the open back tuners and so forth. It's really fantastic. So if you're gonna make this guitar better, how do you do it? Well, that's what this guitar is. It is this guitar, but better. So why is it better? Let's talk about it. So it is still a 000, okay, 14 fret. That's what you would typically see that's advertised. I think that's even how we do it, is 000 14F. It's a 14 fret 000 body. The top is Sitka spruce, just like that. It's a higher grade of it. The back and sides are a higher grade of mahogany. The Sitka spruce top on this is a little different though. It's VTS, which is Vintage Tone System, and that's Martin vernacular for their heat treatment or their torrefaction aging treatment that they do for their guitars. The idea is that you get a brand new guitar where the top is already aged. It already sounds like an 80-year-old guitar, so you don't have to wait around for it to open up all those after all those years. So that's definitely a benefit. Another benefit is in the construction of this guitar, the glue utilized is hide glue. Now, in the standard series, it's Titebond, and this is pretty typical throughout the guitar industry. Hide glue is usually an upcharge. There's two reasons. One, hide glue is superior from a vibration transmission standpoint. When Titebond dries, it basically kind of dries into almost like a very firm rubbery gasket type of material. If you ever go to peel it away or anything, it's hard, but it's got kind of that consistency to it. Hide glue, or animal protein glue, rather, it dries into a crystalline aspect. It can sink into the wood pores, and it's like glass. And what that means is that it transmits the energy or the vibrations of the guitar very, very effectively. And when utilized particularly for the construction of the top with the bracing, it can make a tremendous difference. So already on this guitar, you have superior tone woods, and you have a supercharged body by taking and making that bracing, which is all typically done by hand in the custom shop, on a VTS or torrefied top, and with hide glue construction. So that's going to give you a lighter guitar that's more resonant right out of the gate. Now, the other things that are very similar are the inlay, but it's ebony neck or ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge on both of these models. The neck on this is mahogany. Now, if you care, and maybe some people don't or they don't know the difference, on most standard model Martins, it looks like mahogany, but it may not be. It may be Spanish cedar. Typically, they call it as select hardwood. And so it is a wood that is very appropriate to utilize in the neck. It looks a lot like mahogany, particularly with the stain they put on it. The grain structure is very similar. The strength of it's very similar, but it may not necessarily be mahogany. In this case, it is. The neck profile is pretty much the same because this has become one of the most popular neck profiles for Martin. It feels great. It plays great. It's just fantastic. One of the other things that you get upgraded on is up here at the headstock. These are the Schaller tuners, the Grand Tunes, and they are a lot smoother than the Grovers that are on that. The Grovers are fine, but these are better. So you get more expensive tuners for the money. And then it's got some aesthetic differences. So what's cool on this is the vintage logo is done in a silver finish versus the kind of gold or beige finish that you typically see on most Martins. It's a nice kind of nod that it's something different, and there's little subtle things for the person who's playing the guitar. On the very back of the headstock, the Martin logo is etched or pressed into the wood. That's something that you don't see on a non-custom shop model, but was what happened on guitars way back in the day, and is something that is an option. Does it make the guitar sound better? No, it's just cool. Does it make it play better or stay in tune better? No, it's just nice. So, and it doesn't cost that much, a little bonus thing. Inside you have a custom shop label, if you will. It's a wood etched label like the standard models come with up on the inside neck block. And it says custom shop in the information with the serial number for the instrument. The back of this, like I mentioned, has this beautiful, colorful wood marquetry inlay for the back strip. On a typical 0018, it's just black. Does it make it sound better? No. Does it make it play better? No. Is it pretty? Yeah, that's the idea. And so all in all, this guitar adheres very, very closely to the 0018. The biggest differences, if you were following along, are upgraded tuners, a VTS higher grade spruce top, and hide glue construction throughout. That makes this guitar lighter and more resonant. In fact, picking it up between the two, the 0018 is pretty light anyway, but this is a lighter guitar. Playing them, well, I'll let you hear for yourself and then we'll talk about it. So I demoed both of these guitars, playing the exact same things on both of them. See if you can pick up the nuanced differences between the two. Check it out. So there you have it. That's a 0018 versus a custom shop version with a few changes to really supercharge it and make it a better instrument. What could you hear different between the two? First of all, could you hear anything on YouTube between the two? Maybe, maybe not. With good headphones and everything, maybe you heard a difference. What I heard and what I can explain is this. This guitar has several things going for it that the 0018 doesn't. Namely, it will respond to a lighter touch. It's just more resonant and responsive right out of the gate. And it has a lot more sustain. Now, I try to feature that in the demo, but I can tell you it first hit me when I was just changing guitars in between recordings. Just picking up this guitar versus that guitar, and I accidentally hit a string, and it just rang out. And typically, this has been one of the things we've experienced. When we order custom shop Martins, and particularly when we order them, and I try to often, with torrefied tops, basically the VTS tone system on the top and the bracing, and with hide glue construction, it's a lighter guitar that's very responsive and has a ton of sustain out of it because it's just so vibrant and light. You know, that's what you want. You want a guitar that's light enough that you hit those strings and it just comes to life. And that's definitely what this guitar has. I do like the feel of the tuners. You know, there's a difference in price between them, and I think it definitely shows. These are just very, very smooth to tune. How much does that affect your life? It depends. Now, here's the big question. Is it worth it? And I think the answer is yes, with some providers, and it depends upon who you are. One of the things about a custom shop instrument is that it is a custom shop instrument. On its own, irregardless of any specs, it is special. It is made by these luthiers at the Martin factory. It is its own thing in the line. They're carving the bracing, they're carving the necks, they're dealing with hide glue. By the way, I mentioned there were two things, and I don't think I got to the second one. The first one is it dries crystalline, and you have a lot of benefits from a sound standpoint. That's why it's more expensive. The other reason it's more expensive, it is a pain in the butt to deal with. Type-on's just in a bottle that they have right there. Hide glue they have to keep smoldering at their workstation, keeping it hot so that it stays in this liquid form that they can utilize. It can be a mess. It's a pain in the butt. And so that's why it costs more to build an instrument. With anything that's more difficult and time consuming, costs more. It's just how it is. But you know, there's some special things to this. And if you care about that, if you care about the fact that it was really constructed by hand by one of the most famous guitar manufacturers in the world, that it is an improved and better instrument with options that are not otherwise available in the standard lineup, and that it has little special touches that are nuanced and may not appeal to everybody or even be apparent to everybody, but is apparent to you, that may be all that matters at the end of the day. Now, this is substantially more expensive. It's about $2,000 more expensive than the 0018. That makes it a question where you really have to ask yourself, is it worth it? And is there a substantial enough difference? I can tell you from playing it, there is a difference. Feel, they're pretty much spot on. They both feel about the same. Sound-wise, this one has more of everything that you expect from Martin, particularly more woodiness and girth and just kind of oomph out of the instrument, and it will respond with a really light touch. So, fantastic instrument. If you don't think you could justify spending the additional amount and you think a 0018 is great, that's fantastic, because I agree, a 0018 is great. But at the end of the day, we each have to answer these own questions for ourselves. So that's the breakdown between Martin versus Martin, and we could do this comparison all day long with various things. But if you are interested in purchasing a Martin for yourself and you have questions, we are here to answer those questions for you. If you want to build your own custom shop instrument or purchase one that we've built, we can help you with that. In fact, sky's the limit. You want to custom spec a Martin, we can walk you through all of the steps to find the right things to suit your dreams and desires. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, because to me, I think the best guitar in the world is really the one that you're playing, and that will be the one that's special to you. So your mileage may vary, but you got to make up the decision for yourself. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, you turn on notifications, like our videos. If you'd like to learn about becoming an Alamo Music Insider and having fun with us on our Patreon page, check out that link in our description below. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Chris, and I'll see you next time.